Hey, this is an animation on squash and stretch through facial expression, mainly through the eyes. Gonna keep it simple so it fits in a 10-minute time constraint. And what's good about this thing is I'm gonna be doing it in a way that makes it so that you don't have to be a particularly accomplished draftsman to be able to do what I'm doing and follow me. So hopefully you can have fun with it, and feel free to have a go after watching. One final point I'm going to make is that I'm not going to be focusing on what software I'm using or what mic on tablet. Basically, this type of animation can and should be done on paper. I'm using a machine because it's the easiest way to capture what I'm doing. But seriously, because I'm recording it in Flash and I'm using an A4 Intuos, doesn't make me able to animate. So pick up your weapon of choice and let's go animate. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is create this eye line where two eyes are going to sit. And now this is a real trick. This is what I call the superhero's mask. Now this is gives you a guide to everywhere, where the nose is going to be, and most importantly, where you're going to put your eyebrows, because they just sit on top like that. And that gives you the vision there. So let's just define the space. I'm just being really quick and crude with my drawing here, just because I want to try and get this done in 10 minutes. Because I like to do everything done, so you can. I just think you can learn better that way rather than seeing a sped up video. So okay, our eyebrows sit on the top there, and now I'm going to proceed on to making the next keyframe, where again I'm going to define the eye line. Now notice what I'm doing with the superhero mask here. I'm actually squashing it because I want to make his eyes blink. So he's going to be closing his eyes, and when you squash something, you got to think about the surrounding objects as well. So I'm going to have his nose coming up. If you sort of press your eyes together really tightly, you'll notice that your nose scrunches up as well as your eyebrows pressing down, and that's what this mask does. So if you imagine the mask squashing as you're drawing, then it's going to guide everything. It's going to give your expressions more life, like those minor little cartoon character's face just seems to come to life. So again, I'm just going to really quickly define this then. So you can see how that works. Now I'm going to come on to the other extreme, where instead of squashing it down, I'm going to stretch it really out, so you can see the mask is really stretched down. The nose is even coming down, and now in reality your nose really wouldn't go down to the extreme as I've done here, but in cartoon you can push it a little bit. Just make sure that it's a believable distance, that his nose isn't traveling right down his face, or there's a thin line between what is acceptable and what is not. And actually, when your foremouth, your forelip would pull the bottom of your nose down. Let's just define sin. So these eyes are like really stretched open. I mean, if you've done animation before and you've sort of animated bouncing balls, this is kind of like the same principle as a bouncing ball. You've got your really squashed version and then your stretched version, and this is something like that. And again, the eyebrows are doing exactly, it's just sitting on the top of the mask there. So everything is within this mask. You can see that's how that works. And now I'm going to come on to making my last extreme, which is my relaxed pose. You could go back to your first one, but I'm just going to draw another one here. Volumes in this video and placement, I'm trying to keep it as tight as I can, but obviously I'm working straight ahead here in the machine, so things might wander a little bit, but that's not what, that's the cleanup. This is like roughing out. So So there we can see, you know, the mask, the nose, the eyes sort of come back to a more neutral position. I think overall in this sort of attitude I'm giving this character is, you know, an element of disbelief or shock or, you know, some kind of attitude like that, emotion like that. You know, he's not angry, he's not happy, he's not sad, he's more alarmed, I would say. So that's his more neutral, alarmed eye position. So there you can see the more extreme position. So what we're trying to do is really push it. Really, if you don't think you've pushed it, even when you think you pushed it enough, push it some more. I mean, that's what I was always taught. Right now I'm thinking I should be pushing it even more than what I have done, but okay, let's just continue with it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put in, like, I'm working on twos here, so I'm just going to put in one in between each one, and it should still work fairly good. You could in between it some more, but there's not really time for that in the 10-minute constraint. So I'm just gonna in between here. Now what I'm doing is I'm doing what's called a half hair. I'm just putting like a halfway between one position and the next position. Spacing is very important in animation. It's you know, people talk about timing, but timing without spacing is you know, the two go together for me. So the spacing refers to the distance of the in between, how far or close it is to the other, you know, slowing in and slowing out. Now as I'm going into the stretch position, I'm favoring my down pose, so those eyes are really going to pop open. So we're also giving ourselves enough time to see that the eyes have been closed by favoring and drawing more or in between outwards into the stretch, closer to the squash position. It's kind of like opposite to a bouncing ball in that respect, because when the ball hits the ground, it springs back up. But what we're doing here is the same principle, but we're just imagining that the eyes are going to be pushing up. So there you go, so they're popping up, really popping up. Now I'm just going to work on half hair. I'm going to work on a half hair because we need to one in between to ease into that, back into the down of the relaxed pose. And I think I'll put another in between if there's time, because you really need to see that settle, otherwise it won't go work. So this is going just halfway between the extreme up, back into the down, and I think we should really get in, just so you can see the what's called slowing in. Ideally, you're probably slowing in even more, but I'm just working on a really basic, limiting my in-betweens and drawing, just to show you. One, for the time constraints of the video, and two, to show you what can be achieved. You can achieve really effective dynamic animation with not that many drawings. I mean, obviously, if you want to take it to the level of, say, Disney or Booth, then you're going to need to, but put more into it. Okay, so that's how that works. Now what I'm going to do quickly is I'm going to do a straight ahead rough of the mouth, just so you can see what the squash and stretch of the face actually gives to the expression. So the mouth is secondary here. The character, I want you to see that the character talks with their eyes, and it's not just the eyes, it's the nose, it's the cheeks, it's everything that affects the mouth. And everything else that affects the face. It's not just the mouth moving or anything like that. So I'm just going to rough in a really basic, generic mouth shape. Nothing special. The drawing's quite crude, but hopefully what you'll see, and hopefully when I press play it will work, but what you'll see is that the face will have a lot of life to it. You know, these are like little tricks that give your animation a lot more punch and a lot more life to it. Like there's a lot of squash and stretch in the face. And you don't have to just do hand-drawn animation. You can do it with these principles with computer symbol animation as well. Okay, so I'm pretty much done now. I'm just going to in between this mouth hair, and you should see what it looks like. I hope it's been of some help to you. There you go. Oh, it kind of works.